Hey guys, Supercurse Productions here, and today I'm really excited to be bringing you my custom minifigure showcase to celebrate the release of the movie Ant-Man and the Wasp. And the two figures I've made here are Ant-Man and the Wasp themselves. Now, I did plan on making Ghost, but that just didn't happen because of time issues, and so right now I only have Ant-Man and the Wasp. I don't know when I'm going to see the movie, so also please don't put any spoilers in the comments for about a week, maybe. I will be removing any spoiler comments that are posted if I do find any, but, yeah, so I didn't make Ghost, just have these two. I even made some micro figures to represent when they shrink. Ant-Man I originally started back, when I was making Infinity War, but since he wasn't in that movie, I ended up finishing a couple weeks ago. Wasp was done in a few days. But, yeah guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the showcase video. Alright guys, so first up here we have Ant-Man, and I'll give you guys a full 360 of him. Now, like I said, this figure I did start it back in, when I started Infinity War, so back in, January, February, when I started that. Now, I didn't finish him till a couple of weeks ago. Starting off from the top, his helmet was made from one of those Lego's motorcycle helmets, like their normal style motorcycle helmets, the older ones that was just round at the top. You can see it was a white one. And what I did was I actually sanded down the sides and on both sides and filled in the front gap with Procreate to make the shape of his mask, because I don't have any official Lego mask. I wasn't really fortunate to pick up the first set when it came out back in 2016. I actually missed that set. I've been searching for the new one. I haven't been able to find it yet. Probably go to a Lego store or something to find the set. But for now, I like the way my helmets turned out. But as you can see, the side ears, or whatever you want to call them, they were actually cut from cardboard, and I cut the circle shape that goes on both sides, and then like that triangular shape that goes on top of it, and I glued that all together, sealed it, painted the whole thing. The front little mouthpiece here was sculpted on. Most of the helmet's sculpted like the front of it. The sides are glued on cardboard. The detail is really self-explanatory. It's all paint work except the arms, those little things on his arms, gauntlets or whatever you want to call them. They are made of electrical tape just to have them a little bit 3D, sticking off the torso a bit. His little backpack thing is sculpted, and that it does go over his shoulders a bit, as you can see there. The head I'm using is just like an old Indiana Jones headpiece that I thought looks like Paul Rudd a bit with the spiky hair. So that's just what I went with. And he does have painted boots with the detail going around all four sides of the legs. And then the top of the legs, actually, I did paint it. There is a sort of a bit of the paint rubbing there, because I applied it too thick, but the paint does go on the top on both sides, so if I move his leg down. But yeah, so that's about it for Ant-Man, and now we can move on to the next figure. Next up here we have the little Antman Micro figure. This was made from a trophy figure based off of how Lego did theirs. I tried to incorporate as many details as I could, and here's my Ant-Man figure here for a scale comparison. If you guys haven't really seen these before, I mean, you probably know what the scale is, but there's how small it is compared to there, and you can see the details. I guess a comparison of how I did the details. The front, the helmet, I did paint it in gunmetal for the micro one, and I just left the big one silver. And then the back, I actually forgot to paint the backpack piece on there, so he does not have one. But yeah, I did try and paint as many details as I could onto this. But yeah, so now we can go ahead and move on to Wasp. Alright guys, and here we have Wasp, and I give you guys a full 360 of her. Now, something I do want to mention before we start is I did get a bunch of comments when I posted this on Instagram that, oh, her color's inaccurate, people messaging me saying that I was colorblind, which was kind of rude, but, and so I just want to say before I start that to me, it looked like a gray color in the concept art, well, not the concept art, in the set photos and the trailers. It didn't look at that gold to me. Now, the outlines around the belt and arms looked gold, so I painted that gold. But the rest of her to me looked more gray than gold. Now, it might be a dark gold, a really dark gold, or it might be gray with a gold tint to it, but this is how I saw the figure. It's my interpretation of the figure. In the end, I really don't make these figures for you guys. I make them for myself, unless I actually sell a figure. I just like to showcase my hobby here on YouTube. So, yeah. This is the color that I saw, and this is how it's going to stay, unless when I see the movie it looks more gold, then I'll fix it up. But for right now, I like it the way it is, and yeah, that's how it's going to stay. So starting with the top, the helmet is, I made it the same way I did Ant-Man's, although the only difference is how I made the ears and the shape of the helmet. Because if I remove the helmet, you can see it was one of those same motorcycle helmets, but if I take Ant-Man's helmet here, you can see that I actually sanded the front of the helmet to make it a bit pointier than Ant-Man's, which is round. So it sticks out more like her helmet in the movie. Now, the ears, like I was saying, the difference between those is, unlike Ant-Man, how I made his ears all out of cardboard, Wasp's ears were actually made by, I took some Procreate, I rolled it into a ball, pressed it down on both sides to give it that circular shape, and then I cut triangular pieces and pressed them into the clay while it was drying. The visor was painted in a light orange, and you can see I painted the top of the helmet in a dark gray color. All the details are really self-explanatory with the helmet. And if I go ahead and remove the helmet, I think this head was like a Princess Leia head, I don't really know. I painted this older style ponytail hairpiece in dark brown. And then for the wings, the backpack was sculpted, and then you're probably wondering because why it can move. Well, the reason it moves is because I actually put the backpack on a magnet, as you can see there. While the backpack was drying, I pressed the magnet onto the inside, cut all the details. I was originally sticking the wings into the sides of the backpack while it was wet, but that didn't work, so I ended up, once it was drying, gluing them to the underside, which it does look a bit uneven, and that's because I messed with it too much while it was drying. But it can clip on with the magnet, and it sits smooth on the torso thanks to the magnet being pressed inside. Now I'll get this out of the way real quick. Start it off with, well, not starting off, but the torso was an area light curved torso, which I carved and sanded down the sides to make it flow more with the legs. I painted it in dark blue because area light does not have dark blue torso, so it was originally gray, which I painted dark blue. Sealed the sides so the arms wouldn't really rub the paint off. And then I sculpted the little arm gauntlets on the sides, and then the wrap piece is actually electrical tape, and that goes for both sides, so I wanted to give it a few more 3D elements. The breastplates or whatever, I thought it was like an armor texture she had, but I realized after it's the suit. Those were sculpted out of Procreate, and then the side detail on the torso does go all the way around. And the same with the legs, the detail on there. There's some details, lines and stuff that go around the legs and along the top of the legs as well. Hope I didn't just rub any paint, ruin anything, but yeah guys, so that's about it for the Wasp. And as I stall to put all her gear back on, if I can get it, now we can move on to the Wasp Micro figure. Alright guys, so here we have the Wasp Micro figure. Now, I will point out that it is, the colors are a bit harder to see. It looks grainy in the camera because it's darker than Ant-Man, which had a lot more brighter colors. Could also be because how far I'm zoomed in, but first off, I'll give you a comparison between Wasp and Ant-Man, so you can see them there. Like Ant-Man, I tried to paint all the details that I painted onto the figure. Well, most of them. that I painted onto the actual figure onto the micro figure. Now, this, I'll give you a full 360 of it. The only differences from this and the actual figure are the visor. I painted the visor on this one yellow, whereas this one's orange, and I was going to repaint the little one orange, but I just never corrected that color. And so, right now, it's staying yellow. But, and so a feature that the little micro wasp has, just like the bigger wasp, or the normal minifigure wasp, is the wings are magnetic, so they can't come off, made of the same exact plastic, and they just sit there. They do rotate a bit like the regular minifigure wasp. But yeah, so all the details really self-explanatory. Painted most of the stuff that's on the normal figure onto the micro, and give you guys another quick comparison. But yeah, so that's about it, and now we can go ahead and end this video. Alright guys, so that about wraps up this video. Really hope you guys liked it. If you did, be sure to leave a like down below. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. And yeah, so the next figures that I'm going to be working on, or already am working on, are Tony Stark to go with my Pepper. I think I've showed this guy to you guys before, but without all this detail. So this detail is recent. I painted all the orange and stuff. I will say now, though, that he's not going to have any of the camouflage unless I figure out an efficient way to paint it, because when I paint camouflage, it just looks horrible, so that's not happening. And then another figure, this is the only other figure that I've been working on, is Captain America from the 2012 Avengers movie. He is almost done, and the reason I'm making him is because in the set photos for Avengers 4, he is wearing this outfit. I don't know if I'm going to go with this hairpiece, but there's the Captain America head that was used for him during Civil War. But yeah guys, about wraps up this video. Like I said, really hope you liked it. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. And yeah, so bye.